All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye coming to again with a brand new video for another episode of Eagle Eye, the transfer rumor show, where I talk to you about all things Arsenal, transfer rumor related, and rumors in general. Blimey, it's been another action-packed day for stuff that has happened around the Arsenal or things that are rumored to be happening around the Arsenal. I think first things first, because the story was so massive yesterday about the whole "We Care, Don't You" movement. I think it's only fair to let everybody know. For those people who are not on Twitter, there may be people that, quite frankly, haven't even noticed that Josh Kroenke, who's the current top trend on Twitter, is he's responded. He's responded with a big letter, and I'm going to lie to you. I read the letter, and I don't know. The impression that I got is he says a whole lot without saying too much at all. It's a big letter. I'm going to read it for you. Gosh, reading something on air, this is going to be a tense moment. All right, let's do it. Dear Arsenal supporters, fans, and Gooners worldwide, I'd like to start by clarifying that my family owns Arsenal together, and when it comes to the club, my father and I are in constant dialogue. So when you hear from him, you're hearing from me, and the other way around. So I pen this on the behalf of myself, my father, my family, and KSE, or Kroenke Sport Entertainment. We know that we have some of the most passionate fans in any sport. Basically, we're a bunch of nuts. Anywhere in the world. It's part of what makes us such a special and unique club. And while we understand and appreciate and agree with concerns about our club failing to achieve our goal of qualifying for the Champions League for the 2019-20 season, we respectfully disagree about our club being at a crossroads, and that things need to change because because so much has changed. So much change has recently occurred. That's such a weird way of putting that sentence. Over the past year, we have turned the page from our traditional model of football operations that include a manager, a CEO, and a new chapter of Arsenal Football Club that is led by a head of football and a managing director. Since their appointments and that of Unai Emery, our head coach, we've continued to working to develop modern infrastructure designed to move us forward. This will take time to play out, but this is always going to be the case after such a long period of time operating under a different model. For us, the important thing was to achieve. For us, the most important thing is to achieve what was simply not the change for the sake of change, but to ensure that the right people in the right roles work together in a positive environment to achieve the stated goal of winning silverware both domestically and in Europe. You can already tell he's not really said anything of substance here. We know that this can bring uncertainty, and perhaps everything we've done over the past 12 to 14 months have brought an additional uncertainty during a period of unease when the supporters, coaches, players, and management are rightfully frustrated by the lack of success on the pitch. With all the work we've done on the structure of football, commercial, and operational departments, we would say that the club needs a period of stability rather than additional change. All right, we want to be clear that we are in sports for one reason and one reason only, to win. The narrative has changed then, because his dad was all about I didn't buy Arsenal to win trophies. So Josh has decided, let me make this clear. We're in it to win it. There is no better feeling in sport than being at the highest, that winning at the highest level. We know that there's a lot of hard work ahead of us and understand that our supporters want success now. We will continue to push forward to try and balance the short and long-term vision without abandoning the core principles of the club that have sustained us for the past 133 years. We believe that in professional sport, you are only as good as your last match, and unfortunately, the last 45 minutes of our season was not our best. I'm sure it was a car crash, but it was in a way it was a perfect illustration of our season. On behalf of my family and KSC, I was in Baku for the Europa League final. Yeah, I heard Josh was there. Stan damn sure wasn't, but I heard Josh was there and was on the pitch after the match representing our club as the second place medals were passed to our players and staff. I saw and felt the frustration that was visible in their faces of every Arsenal fan, player, staff, and staff member. And the most important thing I saw in that moment was how much people care and the resolve to face the failure and work even harder. As Raul said in our recent announcement regarding the appointment of Edu Gaspar as the first technical director in Arsenal's history, Edu represents the final piece in a very important jigsaw puzzle. And this constant jigsaw puzzle they refer to, honestly. That is our new footballing operational structure. He is, first and foremost, an Arsenal man who understands the ethos of the club, and as an invincible, he understands the mentality required from top to bottom across the entire club for us to return to the level at which we expect to be competing. He joins Freddie, Per, Steve Bold, and all winners with Arsenal DNA who love our club. We are not naive in thinking that our ambitions can be achieved overnight and are putting processes in place to ensure that we are stacked not only with talent, but talent and proper mentality to help us achieve our highest goals in the future. We know that we have a job to do and we will attack it daily. Our club has a beautiful history of honor, class, trophies, not lately, commitment to the community and player development in which we will all take immense pride and no doubt continue to honor. We also must be aggressive and creative in modern transfer market. That's what you call it, creative. Yeah, all right then. Looks like you're being a cheapskate. That's what aggressive and creative is. Aggressive. Okay. Sorry, that put me off. I ain't gonna lie. To push what is possible on the pitch and how it is evaluated in pursuit of the biggest trophies in English and European football. Last paragraph, guys, I promise. As for our supporters, this is us, we want to say thank you. Thank you for your passion, thank you for your commitment, and thank you for being the lifeblood in our great club. There will be victories and defeats in our future, and we thank you for the continued support, both through competitive experience and we push forward to create a proud new history for Arsenal Football Club. Victoria. Sorry, I couldn't read the rest of the cheese. It's done. May North London forever be red, Josh Kroenke. What did he say? This is the second time I've read it now, and I still don't really understand. He said a lot without saying much. Right? He just kind of reiterated the press conference words of when Eddie was appointed. He's talked about the fact that he represents the club. So if we see Josh, we shouldn't therefore question where Stan is. I guess I know that was a part of a letter that I think particularly he was almost, I wouldn't say offended by, but that stuck out for him. That was the impression that a lot of people get from him. That was the part that made him think, hold on, I've been about. Who cares where Dad's been? I've been here. And I think, I mean, this aggressiveness that completely threw me off. Aggressive and creative in the transfer market. What's creative about being cheap? We've always done that. There ain't nothing creative about it. But I think it's one of those things where we're just gonna have to just be like, whatever. You know, like I know people ain't gonna be happy. For me, you guys know where I stand with it. You know, I'm Kroenke out, but it is so much harder to get rid of a. I mean, as much as we struggled getting rid of Arsene Wenger, it's going to take 3 times the effort to get rid of Stan Kroenke. Owners don't just sell their assets, particularly assets that make money for them. Sure, we know that if he bothered to invest more money, that he would have a bigger asset on his hands. We know that. He clearly isn't interested in that. He's committed to doing this, to doing it his way, you know? And maybe he believes that now Edu's on board, as they say, it's the final part of the puzzle, that we will begin to make progress. Well, it's been a couple of days since, it's been a few days now since Edu's been announced, and we're still nickel and diming over Kieran Tierney. I might as well transition onto that story. So we've obviously had 2 bids now rejected, as I reported yesterday. One of the things that we wanted to do was we bid 80 million up front with 7 million add-ons. The feeling is that Celtic would accept a little bit more money up top, and the add-ons be more guaranteed than currently are, because apparently that 7 million they wouldn't necessarily get if Arsenal don't achieve certain goals, and they don't want it based on that. They want it based on, no, we're going to get that regardless. Like, it needs to be over a certain period of time, and we're going to get that money. You just need to build a better kind of structure for it. From my point of view, I don't even know why we're fucking around. I genuinely don't know why we're fucking around. The way I see it is, if Kieran Tierney is the guy you want, go and get him. I know a lot of people were atting me today saying that that Neil Lennon had a meeting, had an interview today, and he was talking about the fact that why wouldn't Arsenal pay 50 million for Tierney? It's like, all right, mate, calm down. And people kind of got worried. Neil Lennon don't know. First of all, Neil Lennon ain't got no say in that club. Yes, he's the manager or whatever, but he's effectively the spokesman. They'll accept 25. If we come correct, they'll accept 25. The feeling is that at some time this week, Arsenal will come back for a third and final take it or leave it bid. That will guarantee Celtic get their 25 million. How much money will be up top? Anyone's guess. But there is a feeling that Arsenal will come back in for a third and final bid. So watch the space. For me, I'm at the point now where if Celtic are being dumb and are asking for too much money, bruv, there's other options out there. There is other options out there. I do think we need a left back. I know there's this feeling that, well, we have 2 left backs as it is, but them 2 barely got past the season. I want a left back. I do want a left back. Even if we target another one, whether it's Kazawa from PSG or the Valencia left back, who I've completely forgotten the name of. I'll take either one of those 2 to be fair. But yeah, for me, I don't want us to mess around too much. Let's make the offer, see what happens. Let's come correct. But if Celtic are going to long this out for the entire time, I say just abandon ship and look for other targets. That's just my feeling on it. Let me know what you guys think. Let's talk about the main story that kind of broke about 2-3 hours ago, and that is Dani Ceballos, or Ceballos, or Ceballos, as a lot of people are saying. It looks like it looks like that he is on his way to Arsenal on loan. Now, this is a deal that I think all of us can actually believe because it's been a deal that's been talked about. Real Madrid value him at around about 50 million mark. Everyone's a bit like, I don't know about that. If you were Isco, then yeah. But you ain't Isco, mate. Calm down. Let me tell you something. I know a lot of people are a little bit weird and wondering if he's worth it. He's a good player, you know. He is. He is. This is not like the Velasquez deal that I know a lot of people are very sour on. I'm hoping that we don't get Lucas Velasquez. But with Dani Ceballos, he's very, very good. Mentioned this before, but I'll mention this again. He's an excellent passer of the ball. Loves his through balls. He's the type of guy that keeps that ball ticking over. Don't get it twisted. I'm about to make a comparison. Don't get overexcited. Don't say, oh, tube, but you said, no, relax. I'm not putting him in this category. I'm just giving you a decent gauge, a comparison, if you like. Maybe a young, raw version of Santi Cazorla. Maybe. Very, very good passer, very confident dribbler. Likes to hold on to the ball. So he's one of them guys where if you give him the ball, he'll be all right. He ain't like Granit Xhaka. Defensively, he's good. Treks back, works very, very hard. Good tackler. Good tackler. And yeah, he picks up a lot of fouls as well. To be honest with you, when I think about his acts, and I'm thinking out loud as I'm speaking to you, he fit perfectly next to like a Torreira or a big, genuine defensive midfielder. Because I've said for ages that for me, I think that's what we miss. That number 8 that just links up the defense to the attack quickly. And you know what? As much as I want him to go, and I do want him to go, a player like this might help a Mesut Ozil. Hey, listen, people, don't get it twisted. She hasn't gone soft on Mesut Ozil. But we have to be real here. This motherfucker ain't going anywhere. So I'm just thinking of ways to make use of the amazing amount of waste of money that we're wasting on this man. And he always played well when Santi was about. He got all them assists when Santi was about. You know, Xhaka doesn't give the ball to him quickly. He just doesn't. He doesn't give the ball quickly to anyone. Whereas I think Mesut actually thrives as somebody that can link up the play with him very, very quickly. This could be the player to do that. That's just my view. It's just my view. I'm happy to have him on loan as well. Just in case it doesn't work out, then you can just bail out. And the good thing about this particular deal, it's an option to buy rather than an obligation to buy. So that's good. That really does help us out and do us a favor. There's a view that between either this and or the Everton Suarez deal, that one of those deals will be completed by July the 22nd, which I do believe is next Monday. Let me double check that before I start talking shit. Oh, yeah, no, it is. It's next Monday, July the 22nd. So there's a feeling that one of these two deals at least will be completed. So keep an eye out on this one. Speaking of Everton Suarez, so I suppose I should really update you guys further on that. So Everton Suarez, so there was a bit of a speculation as to why Everton Suarez was so cheap. And I've now found out the reason. There's a belief that Everton Suarez is on one of those, who is the name of that Portuguese DM that we're always linked with? You know Carvalho, that's his name, William Carvalho. Now, a lot of the reason that Arsene Wenger was put off bidding for him was the fact that his ownership was between the club and like 2 or 3 different agents. Apparently, it's much the same here. You know, he is owned mostly by Gremio, or at least 50% is owned by Gremio. 20% is owned by another club. I saw this information this morning. And another another little part is owned by the agent. Should this deal go through, everyone should be paid out, including the agent and possibly the player. So this could be a pricey deal. But let's see what happens. At the moment, a lot of papers are reporting it to be an initial fee of 25 million plus 11 million in add-ons. So presumably, that means we're buying maybe just the 50% the Gremeo own. I don't know. But this deal is a weird one. This is a weird one. Keep an eye out on it. Wouldn't surprise me if we're investigating for this deal later on. Because this deal isn't as clean as it seems. I did see that little breakdown earlier this morning. I can't flip and find that information now. But yeah, definitely keep an eye out on that one. Wouldn't surprise me if this deal doesn't go through at all. Speaking of deals that we're linked with for some time and then they don't go through, it's all gone quiet on the Malcolm front. And I've been wondering what has happened to the Malcolm situation that it's all gone quiet. Well, supposedly, Barcelona were set to let Malcolm come and join us. Apparently, he's quite keen to come and join us. But they initially wanted 50 million upfront, which kind of begs the question: well, how does the loan work? We might as well just buy them off you then. But they reckon that they either want us to do that or sign an obligation to buy, which Arsenal are not so keen to do. So it means that they are faced with the prospect of either buying him or losing out on him. So I think that's a lot of the reason why this Everton Suarez deal has suddenly come up. But definitely, it doesn't look like there's going to be any further movement on Malcolm. Speaking of winning targets, Emre was asked about Zaha yesterday and Tierney. Sorry. And yeah, supposedly Arsenal are still working on a deal for both of them. I think I watched that interview. I think that's more of a smokescreen. And I think Emre was just answering the question generally that yes, they are still working on a deal for players. A lot of people have seen Zaha's name and thought, oh, we'll run with that story. I think the Zaha deal is dead. I think we've been priced out of it. We were always priced out of it. I'm shocked and amazed we even tried to make a play for him. And truth be told, I'm not too disappointed. I think Suarez is potentially a better player anyway. To be honest, I'd rather Malcolm than Zaha. I'm not that impressed with Zaha. I'll be real. I'm not. I just don't think it gets much better. Whereas I think with these two particularly gentlemen, with Malcolm and Suarez, I actually think it would get better. I think there's a bigger ceiling there. I think there's a longer way to go there. I just don't think with Zaha he gets much better than what he is now. That's just my opinion. Didn't really want to talk about this idiot, but I guess we'll talk about him, and then I'll talk about a new defensive target. So I must admit, I was looking for a defensive target all day, really, because that does worry me that we're not being linked with enough defenders. So I'll talk about that, but please do remember to give this video a like, crush that like button, go mad in the comments, you guys usually do. Hello to all my mods are in there. I'm going to come into the chat shortly and have a little chit chat with you, little chinwag with you. But yes, let me talk about this, and that is Laurent Koscielny, and in particular, Olivier Giroud has got himself involved into this row. See, for me, I never really had beef with Giroud, but bruh, you ain't an Arsenal player now, and even if you were an Arsenal player, you shouldn't say shit. You definitely shouldn't say shit as a Chelsea player. But my man came out today saying, I feel very sad for Koscielny because he's a great person and the media have a bad image of him. I'm not at the club. Your dad, Skippy, are not at the club. But I don't really know what's happened. But one thing is for sure, low, is very hurt by what's happening, and he's a very emotional person. You cannot make a judgment when you don't have all the clues. So don't say shit then. Bro, you're answering your own thing. You can't make so why exactly are you opening your mouth? I'm pretty sure we don't know everything in the situation. You damn sure don't. They did ask Emery about this situation during the press conference yesterday, and apparently he was asked straight three times in the lead up to going to America. Are you coming to America? No. Are you coming to America? No. And in the end, they had to go without him because he was so adamant that he wasn't going to go. So this isn't just a case of, that it blew up over the course of it, which I'll be honest, that's what I thought happened. That they just had a massive argument over the course of a couple of days, and it then escalated to him not going. And I thought it was a bit of a rash reaction. No, this had happened over the past week in the lead up to them going to America. He was asked 3 separate times, "Are you coming to America? We need you out there." And no, because he's throwing his toys out the pan because someone at the board promised him a free transfer. I ain't said this yet, but I'm not being funny. When have you seen Arsenal do that? When has Arsenal ever said, "Oh, you know what? You're in the last year of your contract. We'll cancel it, not get any dough, and let you be"? Who are you fucking kidding, bruv? Know what they probably said to you and you misunderstood? That listen, if you get through the season, come the end of the season, we'll be open to letting you go. That don't mean cancelling your damn contract. I've never known. I don't understand. I've never known Arsenal to do that. Never in my life. Why would they suddenly start with your punk ass? They didn't even complete 10 years. Fuck's sake. Kind of bullshit pisses me off. Because don't get me wrong, if you paid your dues, this is the thing. For me, you will never see me shit on Theo Walcott. You will never see me going forward shit on Aaron Ramsey. Because these are 2 guys who were the ultimate professionals. Don't get it twisted. I had my frustrations with both of them. I really did. But the way they conducted themselves. Do you know, I saw Aaron Ramsey come out today talking about how as soon as he learned that Juventus were interested, that was the only place he wanted to be. And normally when I read that from a former player of ours, there was always that little bit of a sting there. I'm happy for him. Truth be told. And if you're a long-term subscriber, man, you know me and Aaron Ramsey ain't got on. You know I've said some shit when it comes to Aaron Ramsey. But I'm completely happy for it. I'm happy that, you know what, he's enjoying himself. He might actually get to win something. You know, I'm happy for it. And you know, in the case of Theo was always very professional. Even when it came up to selling him, my man refused to talk shit. Didn't talk too much shit. Just went ahead and did his own thing. That is how you're be a professional. That is how people will still remember you and look up to you in years to come. Laurent Koscielny's been at the club for 9 years. He's supposedly the club captain, and he's throwing his toys out of Pam because he misunderstood something. Let's be fucking real. That's what happened. He misunderstood something. What a prick. Sorry, guys. I've been biting my tongue about that, but that one really annoyed me. It really pissed me off. Yes, let me talk about one final story. In fact, while I get that story up, I might as well talk about Saliba. So people were asking me about Saliba in the lead up to people were asking me about Saliba in the lead up to yesterday's show. And while I was doing yesterday's show, at the moment, as things stand, the decision's with the player. Arsenal have matched what Spurs have offered. Supposedly, all Spurs have done is they've just offered more money up front than Arsenal. and Arsenal have now matched that. So the decision, as far as I could tell, now lies with the player. There's a gut feeling that the player will choose Arsenal. But let's face it, the Champions League is a massive carrot. But seeing as he's being loaned back to Saint Etienne anyway, well, does it matter if Tottenham can offer Champions League and we can't? But hopefully we can the following season. But you never know with this club. You never know. I ain't gonna lie, I fully expected us to get back into the Champions League this coming season. That didn't happen. So maybe Saliba might think, well, these guys have not had Champions League for 3 years now. They're kind of on the downswing. Whereas Spurs, it pains me to admit, are on the upswing. Maybe this would be a better step. Toby's in the last year of his contract. Maybe I could take his place. You know, he might be seeing a path to the first team with them. What do I feel about the Saliba situation? I like the kid. I think he's going to be very, very good. Much like a lot of people have said, though, I'm not going to be brokenhearted if we don't get him. I'd be brokenhearted if we don't have a plan B for him. Because I've always maintained, I think we need 2 defenders. If he's one of them and he comes in next year, all right, but have that second defender in mind and have that plan B if he doesn't decide to come. And I'm hoping that plan B is that Dan Axel guy from Dortmund, because he's a very, very good player. That would represent a really good plan B. But we need to have a plan B. That's my worry. I'm not sure if Arsenal aren't putting all their eggs into the basket of this particular signing. Do they know what they do if they don't get who they want? I'm not so sure. So no. So let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to get the story up now from the one I wanted to talk about. Bear with. Remember to hit that like button. Hit that like button, get it up, drive it up. Sorry, guys, just getting the story up. Oh, fuck me. Yes, right. And that is Arsenal are interested in the £10 million. Yes, £10 million. This one is definitely doable. Olympiacos defender Pape Abu Cisse. Yep. Sounds like a name that is the accumulation of at least 3 players. But yes, Pape Abu Cisse is a Senegal defender, 23 years old. And there's a belief that while Arsenal are still very keen on Saliba, they're looking to bring in this guy as the player to come in for now. Good start for me. I like my African defenders. I do. I like my African defenders. I can't really remember Senegal in the African Nations Cup, though, I'll be honest. So I don't know if he's any good or not. I'm going to be real. That's one of them ones where I'll probably do more of a profile on him tomorrow. I just knew I had a lot to talk about today, which is not why I've not done it today. But from what I can see in terms of just sheer attributes, the man is 6'6". Sign me up. Let's do it. Let's get it done. He's 23 years old. Apparently, he's got a very good aerial attributes. Just sign me up. 23, 10 million, 6'6". Sign me up. I don't need to hear no more. Sign me up. Because we need something else that's completely different to what we have. And God bless Per Mertesacker. I miss his height in the defense. And he was only 6'5". Only. 6'6". Sign me up. Call me heightist if you want. I don't give a damn. Sign me up. I'm all for that. As soon as I saw that style, I was like, yep. Sign me the fuck up. So let's see. £10 million. Olympiacos might see it, as a decent amount of money for them. Lord knows we don't have much more money to spend on the defenders than that. So that could be a really good move. Really, probably the most clever move in the Arsenal transfer window that we see. So keep an eye out on that story. Anyway, guys, I'm going to come and join you guys, see what you guys are saying. Please do remember to drive that like button through the roof. You know, I appreciate it when you guys do that. And hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I am dangerously close to 5K. Dangerously close. When I say I'm dangerously close, I mean I'm hovering around the 50 mark away from 5K. So please, please, please do hit that sub button. All right, let me see what I go on for you lot. Good evening, 10 Rules. Shig, what's the recap so far? So I've read Josh's letter, did a little analysis on that letter. I've talked about the Dani Ceballos deal or loan deal that supposedly will be tied up this week. I talked about Kieran Tierney. Tierney, fuck. Get used to that. Get used to that. And I've talked about 2 defenders, and yeah, you're up to date. The 10 Everton one, we need Zayed. I'm sick of talking about Zayed, I'll be honest. Even I'm sick of talking about him. Bro, we ain't even getting one. Thank you, VP. Get Boots some nurse booty fun. The funds that VP comes up with, I'll tell you. Where did I see that Cisse story? Hold up, 2 secs. 2 secs. I know you guys always think I make these stories up. I'll quote the source. Oh, sorry, guys. I hate being silent with you guys, but you asked me for the source. I'm just trying to find it now. Oh, it's on the 90 Men website. 90 Men. 90 Men website. I've got the fucking link anyway. I can put it in the description once I'm done. No problem. Some of the journalists are just as uneducated as the people on Love Island. Is Everton done? Not yet. Not yet. Lumberg camp. Not yet. Do you believe that Everton Suarez is going to happen, or is this fake BS? Do you know what, Benson? I don't know why. I've got a feeling there's something in this. I don't know why. You know, with the Malcolm story, I was a bit like, whatever. The Zaha story, I was straight up, whatever. But there's something about this story that I just think only Arsenal can somehow make this one happen. I don't know what. I don't know why. I have no real sources about it. I just got a gut feeling on it. Loving the work, Chig. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Appreciate it, brother. The source, HP and science. That's what I'm saying, bro. My sources. Don't want to see Kolasinac anywhere near the first team. Nimsy, I might have a chopping block in relation to that you'll like. Sign Cahill and Ashley Young for Arsenal. This guy must be trolling. Thank you, Sue. I appreciate it. I'm getting jealous because I've seen you say that to Lee as well. Rabadan, thank you, brother. Tall defenders are the best. VVD and Matip. Yeah, I am a big fan of tall defenders. Plus, I'm sick of just having the 6-foot defenders that can't jump, can't header, can't do shit. Do you think you'll get Everton Suarez? Everton. So a lot of people wondering if this Everton thing actually has some legs to it. I honestly I don't know. Much like you guys, I'm speculating. I've just got a feeling that there may be something in this. Now, of course, people are going to be ready to make gifs and memes, particularly if I end up being wrong. But I'm just saying, I have no real evidence of this. I've just got a feeling, purely gut feeling, that there's something in this. Everton owns is 50% owns by Grameo, 30% by his agent. Yeah, see, Mike, there you go. Mike has the hookup. I knew I read something today. So yeah, so Everton Suarez is owned 50% by Grameo, 30% by his agent, and 20% by an investor. So Arsenal maybe say the agent keeps his little share, um, and maybe buys Grameo out, and maybe the investor out. They may do it that way. This could be one of them deals that I think the Premier League will investigate. I'll be honest. Just you heard it here first. If that ends up happening, but while there's 93 people watching, please get me over that 50. You know my rule. Once we're over that 50 mark live, I stop bitching about it. Shig, did you see the game last night? Kolasinac tried to cross and miskicked the ball. The camera panned over to Ozan Uber on the bench touchline, and they were laughing and shouting abuse. Yep, that's how shit he is. Thoughts on expressions, the Spurs fan. Cole, I like him. You know, I like him and Rance. And what's my man's name? The one that Lee loves so much. The white guy. What's his name? I've forgotten his name. Anyway, I like those three for different reasons. I like expressions because he reminds me of one of my boys. One of my boys. Just for me, it's a shame about his team, but he seems like hilarious. I love his. I love his. He does this series on just like him going out and like the wild stories he has with like previous girls and stuff. I find them stories hilarious. They are hilarious. So yeah, I think this expression is cool. It's good people. Rants, I like him, but my man looks like he is always on edge. Like always he's ready for that conflict. And only proper hood man. I like that. But I do like Rants a lot. Mark Goldbridge, that's the one. And yeah, I like Mark. I like the way he conducts himself. He's very innovative. Very, very, very innovative. Very, very clever. And yeah, for me, I have no issue with him. I have no issue with him. Shame about their teams, but I have no issue with him. So yeah. Thank you again, Rabadam. Everton was great in the Copper. Terrible name, though. Listen, I couldn't care less if his name was Dogshit McGee. As long as he's banging in goals, we're good. We're good to go. Chig for Prime Minister. You could not pay me enough to do that job. No, 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 no. Do you think we'll sell any first team players this window? Not as many as we should. I think Ozil's little crew is going to be safe. I think Jenkinson might go in the end. Mustafi, 50-50. Although Mustafi, now with all this Koscielny thing going on, I think Mustafi has a good chance of staying, actually. What else? What else? What else? Mkhitaryan, I think, will end up staying, unfortunately. His wages are too high. Trying to think who else. Put it this way, just not nearly enough people are going to end up going. Let's put it that way. Not nearly enough people. Kolasinac only plays well with Iwobi. Yep, I agree with you, Tom. Am I the only one that can't get excited about transfer rumours? Pretty much everybody, Robert. Pretty much everybody. It's a miracle I still get views. Let me tell you that way. I think sometimes we're all here together because it's the hope. It's the hope that something will happen. It's the hope that something may just happen. What I'm hoping, and I'll be honest with you guys, right? When I read that statement, because it looks like a statement of shock and of panic from Josh Kroenke, in a lot of ways, just because he responded to it so immediately, but he didn't respond to it and have anything of substance to say. So that made me think, oh, maybe. I'll be honest, when I first read it, I thought, I wonder if we're on the verge of something. And let me explain why I say that. Because he kind of had this attitude to me of, well, why are you guys complaining? Like, we're just about to do something here. Relax, you'll see. It's all going to be worth it. You'll see. And then we're not necessarily going through the conventional way of buying people. But trust me, we've got this. You guys will see. That was the very first way that I read that. That was my first reaction to that. Because he almost seemed taken aback by it. That's just my view. But don't be surprised if 1 or 2 deals get done this week on the basis of that reaction. How is Maguire 80 million and De Ligt only 71? I like the way you said only, like only is cheap. Very simple. English passport. Next. Staffy to be offered a new contract. What are your thoughts? Zero chance. Stop trolling. Mustafi needs to get shot by the romance. Oh my days. God forbid. Leave me out with that kind of thing. I know you're joking, Arsenio, but there are people out there that, for example, my man was getting booed yesterday. You guys know, if out of everybody that is now on the Mustafi bandwagon, your boy was the first one to call Mustafi out of this bullshit from the get. I wouldn't sit there booing him, though. What exactly do I expect him to do once he's been booed? He's not going to get any better. So, yeah, I've never understood the mentality of booing your players. I don't get it. I don't get it. How does that inspire them? How does that help make him better? Leave me out of that shit. But on a real talk. Shig, it's so difficult to believe these rumors. I know, right? I am the president of the universe, CEO King of Wonga. Chig, I've seen that we've offered 70 million for Everton last night and a split. Yeah, that's what I've been saying, Mike. I talked about that story earlier. Hit that like button, chaps. Yes, please. Follow what the HUD is saying. I slapped the toupee off Stan's head. Yeah. Which new player linked to Arsenal excites you the most? Everton, Suarez. And I'll be honest with you, Ashram, maybe that's the part of the reason why I'm hoping it's real. Because he is the player that excites me the most, to be honest. 8th of August, then Kroenke's head will be on a pike. Blimey. Thank you, VP. And no, it's a school night. I won't have a drink. But thank you, brother. I'll keep it for the weekend. Okay, I'll slap Mustafi then. I got shots. Ah, shit. You man are crazy, yo. Shit looks so beautiful when he lost. Thank you. Oh, you're such a charmer, Benson. Also go to Poundland and then Tesco Valley. Oh, you missed out Iceland, Arsenio. Imagine Heavy D's reaction if Arsenal win the Europa League next season. Are Arsenal Banter FC undisputed holders of the Banter FC title? Uh, Chief, does the Premier League and La Liga windows close at the same time? I think La Liga closes a bit later in the evening. Rollback at Astor. Is Heavy D a boxing champion? No, he's not a real boxing champion. If he was a real boxing champion, they wouldn't allow him to have that belt everywhere. And they'd give him a replica to put on his wall. Little value. Hey, little value. Or Audi, brother. Audi. Tell you, all our non-UK people are like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Little value? Asda? What's going on here? All right, guys. Give me another 5 minutes. 9:20, and I'm out of here. 9:20, I'm out of here. Said Özil to cash converters. With that. Any questions whatsoever? Supermarket sweet time. Great panic bias. At this point, though, any signing we make is going to be considered to be a panic buy, Dan. So we might as well just get on with it. Just panic buy well, is all I ask. Is there still beef between DT and Heavy D? Could care less, to be fair. Jacobson looked good, and so did Saka. Saka looked very good. I was very impressed with him. Very. I think that was Saka's way of saying, hey, you promoted everybody else bar me. That was his message to Emre. And I'm all for that. I hope he keeps that up. Chig, that Ceballos would be a perfect fit as an attacking midfielder. Yeah, so he can play either as a deep central midfielder, so in that Granit Xhaka role, which I'd prefer to see him in, or as a number 10. He's a very, very good pass to the ball. He just keeps the clock moving. He keeps the ball ticking. I compared him earlier to a raw version of Santi Cazorla, Kenny would say. But we'll see. We'll see. Saka looked better than John Jules. John Jules was paid out of position, though, Boots. He played well on Saturday, was it? As a striker. And then yesterday, he played as a attacking midfielder. I was like, oh, okay, why are we playing him now? I miss Santi every day, Benson. Trust me on that. Rabadam, Gunners will be shocked when Arsenal sign Varane. But that would be an Arsenal thing to do. I will say that. Why don't we sign Daffy Duck, Mickey Mouse, and Donald Duck? They're legends, isn't it? Yeah, but they're a bit older, Arsenal. They're a bit old. Willock had a mad 5 minutes. Yeah, he did. Boots, have you set up the foundation yet? Did you see that Troops really got kicked out of the stadium last night? He exaggerates. He didn't get kicked out. Literally, the security guard probably looked at him for a couple of minutes like, hey, settle down. But yeah. What could he do, man? Because I must admit, I like to see myself as a reasonable man. But if I saw Sam Kroenke in sight, I'd be like, I'd go a bit nuts as well. So I could understand. Listen, me at a football match is a messy situation. I'll put it that way. As reasonable as I may seem, when the Arsenal are about, I turn into a bit of a madman. Next bid for Tierney, 25 million plus 20p. That Oliyenka looked good. Yeah, man. Arsenal like their Nigerians. I will say that. They really like their Nigerians. I'd like to see more of him in the under-23s. So, yeah, we'll see what he's got. Oliyenka looked the second best player last night. Yeah, he looked very good. Very good. I like their Nigerians. That's for sure. I think Eddie should pick the rest of the players. I think Eddie should pick all the rest of the players. Emma just seemed lost. Okay. What, on the pitch, you mean? All right, I'm going to do an overtime 5 minutes, guys. Overtime 5 minutes, but make sure you hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I am dangerously close to 9K. That is my target before the season's out. Help me get there, people. Help me get there. Tomorrow, also, just while you guys are warming up, 5 minutes worth of questions, I will be bringing you a Chiggy's wish list. For those of you who don't know what a Chiggy's wish list, if you've seen my chopping block, it is literally the complete opposite to that. So it's who I would buy for Arsenal Football Club. Given who we're linked with at the moment, I think this will be an interesting player for you to discuss, because I'll talk about why I'd bring him in, what I think he can add to the team, how much I would spend on him, all sorts of details. So do make sure you keep an eye out on the Chiggy's wish list. That drops tomorrow. What time am I going to be streaming? Tomorrow I'm going to be streaming at my usual, 8 o'clock. 8:15, I usually stream. But Chiggy's wish list will probably drop. It'll be pre-recorded, so anything around the afternoonish. Before Boots says it, the overtime fund. Thank you, VP. Appreciate that. Give him the figure 4 after some sweet chin music. The WWE getting it. Well, we're finishing as it stands. Lee Gunner said to come here. Oh, did he? Oh, bless Lee Gunner. Thank you, brother. Although, Adam, you're a bit late, brother. I'm literally wrapping up as we speak. But thank you. I'll have to thank him later. At least Josh Kroenke knows who Edu and Raul are. Stan probably is clueless and thinks that they erupt in the stadium. Yeah. I want to see Undertaker take on Kroenke. You just want to see someone hurt Kroenke, Benson. I see your angle. Don't worry. Lee gunning for greatness. I mean, position for Arsenal. Hold on, Adam. Let me see what you asked previously. Where we're finishing as it stands, Lee Gunner said to come here. Oh, as things stand, 7th. Let's just be honest. As things stand, unless Martinelli turns into a world beater and these defenders remember how to defend, and even at times during the Rapids, I mean, you saw Kolasinac look a bit clueless at times. Well, I'm not holding my breath. As things stand, 7th. 7th. And before you ask me if we finish 7th, Emre doesn't deserve to keep his job. It's not his fault, but he obviously is not going to be backed by this board. All right, guys, 2 more minutes and I'm out. 2 minutes and I'm out. Man get clapped right, Roman Reigns super punch. You guys are having a proper discussion about wrestling up in here. Go on then. I might just slip out and leave you guys to it. One more minute. Emre should quit if we don't get a minimum of 2 centre backs. Tom Lee, let me ask you a question now. If we get 2 centre backs and one of them is Saliba, who doesn't come in until the following season, do you still think Emre should quit? Oh, and let me ask you guys all a question. How the fuck is Trippier going to Atletico Madrid? Well, I read that story and I was like, hey, Atletico Madrid? Is that not the maddest story? All right, guys. Atletico getting desperate. There on trucks. All right, guys. I'm going to start to wrap shit up. Please do hit that like button. Or as Boots would say, hit that like Masvidal's knee hitting Kroenke's on that aspirin pill. I'm sure Ola, if he's listening, will like that reference. But yes, do enjoy that. Saliba seems to be going to Tottenham. Does he? Because all the signals say that he is going to pick Arsenal over Tottenham. Have you seen something else, Ericsson, that says that? They're still spending huge money on defenders. Ming for 27 million, safe tube. Yes, he should quit. The board are the only one centre back for the season, plus 50 conceded. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But Tom, I must admit, for me, if we were to get a left back, a right back, and one centre back, you're improving the entire defence bar one position. And that one position comes in the following season. So I'd be all right with that, to be fair. But that's just my view. But anyway, guys, I'm out. I've been trying to say bye to you for ages. So yes, I'll be back tomorrow with 2 videos. One, Chiggy's wish list, and one, the usual Guna Eagle Eye. So do look out for that. Until tomorrow, I'm out, people. Take care.